Okay, so now I've made my pieces that will prop it up, and I'm going to lift them up to the pegs there that I've already made, the slide overs, and after that I'm going to lift it up and tack it to the peg pieces that slide over, and just so I can drill the holes and make sure that they are correct. So I'm going to hold it against the frame, and I've already recentered the frame to make sure it's in the right spot, but I'm going to butt that piece right there. I'm going to butt that to the frame and then up to the peg, and tack it to the peg, take them off, and then drill the holes. And these pieces right here are just to lift it up just enough level wise so it's not on the floor. I've got some just scraps that I have lifted it up. They're not welded or anything, they're just holding it up. Alright, so probably have skipped over a few steps here, but we went ahead and added the back plate for the solenoids to mount to, which is in the back of the rack. We used Pour-15 to coat the rack as well as the bed or the tub here and the tub on the other side. So right now we just set it in. We're about to mount it up, make sure it all fits correctly. Alright, so now we got the rack bolted in, bolted up. We used nubs on the end, and we put or not nubs, but we put the caps on the ends right there, so it's not just an open piece of metal. They slide over the pegs that are attached to the frame, which are then the actual rack has a bolt on the underside which lifts it up to those you know, over slides, whatever you want to call them. So the rack is in, and now we're going to finish putting the all thread in that we've already made and cut for the rack, and start placing everything else in. Alright, so we've already put together our solenoids with the coupler nuts. Now, when we did this, it's very important that this is a snug fit, and you can't just put these on and then twist it in and expect it to line up right. So what we've done is we've taken the lock washers off and then put the two bolts back on, so you got a bolt and you've got basically two bolts. So once you twist it to basically the point where you want it, you can take one of the bolts, make sure that it's tight on this side, and then take the other bolt and tighten it down so it's basically, you know, in there very snug. Now that's important. You want to make sure that it's a very, very good connection, that it won't twist or move or do anything like that, so it needs to be tight. Now once we put them together like this, then we put it in there to drill the self-tapping screws in there to the plate that we're mounting these to. Alright, so now we've mocked up the all thread to make sure it's as far as we want it to be. And I've also put these nubs on top, not because I think that it absolutely needs it, but just as a precaution. This post, or this piece right here, is made of metal, and if something ever crazy did happen, I'd rather it hit the little bump stops, let's just call it, instead of the tops of the battery terminals. So not that it should ever even get close to happening, but just as a precaution. Alright, so the way he wanted his was basically, he wanted everything hidden basically. So he's got this this cover here that covers up everything. So we ran all the lines up underneath the car, and the hoses need to be adjusted a little bit so they're about the same. But anyway, we used bulkhead screws or bulkhead bolts to run it through, and use those steel braid lines, and we're gonna obviously going to need to adjust them just to make sure that they look the same, but that's really the only hoses that you can see right here. So now everything's hidden with this car, so I'll show you kind of how it's set up. So we pull the little hatch, and here's all the batteries, and the solenoids are in the back, and over here we got where we put the pumps. So about to do the hard lines. It's gonna be a tough one because it's such a tight fit, but as you can see, this is what we've done on this one. Now we used a certain kind of paint. If y'all haven't heard of it, it's called Pour 15. It's kind of a rust encapsulator slash, it's just some good stuff. I really like to use it because it hardens up. It's very durable. It's pretty hard to scratch. So it's kind of dirty down there, but you can paint it over just about anything and it will stick. Now, I will pre-warn you that the Pour 15, if you get it on your skin, it is extremely hard to get off. I've still got stuff on me from almost a week ago. So wear gloves, wear a long sleeve shirt, whatever you got to do to when you're applying it. Pour 15, they got several different colors, several different finishes, gloss, semi-gloss, no gloss, flat, whatever. So that stuff is some good stuff. I really like the stuff. And you can literally apply it with a paintbrush, and it self-levels. So even though this is kind of dirty right now, you can kind of see how the finish, if I was to wipe it down, it would look really good. So we've used that pretty much everywhere in there. His floor pan was replaced, so, and it looked fine, but there was a little bit of surface rust on there, so we cleaned that off a little bit and then literally just painted over everything, and it will hold. Some really good stuff. So we're going to start on the hard lines here in just a minute, and you know, we'll go into that on how to start mapping that out with such a tight fit.